Hello folks, welcome in! Good to have you with us. My name is Pixaris. Welcome to your Tuesday Minecraft live stream. It is Chopping Tuesday. And you know what? I want to chop my boiler company right now. Because it's still not fixed, but I finally have an end in sight. We're almost there. We're almost out of the coldest period of my life, probably. We're here on the Hermitcraft server. We're doing some work today. Getting some redstone done. Although, I have to go and chop some components. But yeah, as you can see, still wearing a scarf and gloves. Still got my headphones on. Which is better for the stream in general. Less, like, echoey stuff if we run into somebody else in voice chat or whatever. But, yes, my boiler is getting fixed on Friday. It was the earliest the plumbing company could come out and fix it because everybody else's boiler is also breaking. So I was... whilst I was on the priority list, they're not doing any actual plumbing until, like, next year. It turns out they have to fix everybody else's boiler too, which is fine. It's fair. So that's happening on Friday. And Thursday's stream may be rearranged a little bit because of other stuff we had planned. But does the blue light from behind me make it seem colder? No, the temperature makes it seem colder. I don't really mind about the lights so much. But yeah, no, it's all been bearable so far. And funnily enough, the cold weather is about to let up this weekend. So fingers crossed we have good heating for any other cold weather that comes through, but either way, we're all good here. Enstra, thank you so much for the 6-month resub while we were setting up here. I hope you're all having a good week. Hope you're all staying warm out there if you are in a colder climate. And right now, we're in a very hospitable, very warm, welcoming Hermitcraft server.
Well, that's just...
where we are currently online with Joe Hills, who I believe is live right now, Mythical Sausage, and Vintage Beef.
Well,
so here we are.
That's just prime.
And I realized that we don't have any redstone on this post right here, so we need to get that out of the way. So right now we are in a bit of a component crunch. As you can see from our current surroundings, David 5.0 is looking pretty beefy. And I'm not just saying that because Vintage Beef is in the room. Azuma should have now, I believe he was doing this right when I last logged off, should have pushed back this wall to make room for the pistons. And he has. What an absolute gentleman. So, yeah, like right here, there's a set of pistons that needs to get pushed back one block. So, I think he's made the whole thing a bit more symmetrical, actually. And we need to go today and try and find some quartz. Because I tried to get hold of Tango. Tango should be popping online at some stage, but I don't know exactly when. And in the meantime, just in case other stuff comes up for him, I want to make sure that we have some quartz that we can get on with crafting a few more of these components. So I'm going to head to the nether, try and find a spot that hasn't been too heavily mined out for quartz, which means we'll probably have to go quite a long way out, but I'm sure they exist. And we will be filling in a few of the component gaps that we have right now. We need to have observers, we need to have comparators, and then I think the only other thing I need to do is pop by the shopping district and buy some iron from XP Crafted. In the meantime, I've got some people to thank. Let's see. Lettuce Head, thank you so much for the 5 months. NP Beans with the 4 months. Sebastian with the 5-month resub with Prime. Musician Prime gifting a sub. Darkana-san, thank you so much for the Prime sub. A brand new sub to the channel. Izzy Wanderer with a brand new sub as well. Enjoy your emotes and your sub badges. Welcome to the Pixels. Oti Groge, thank you so much for the 15 months. Nightingale gifting a sub. And Darkana-san gifting 5 subs. Thank you all so much. Level 2 on the hype train already. Keep it rolling, folks. Get yourself some exclusive Twitch emotes by subbing, resubbing, gifting subs, or cheering some bits. David looks snazzy with the warped wood. I know, that was just what Azuma had the most of, and we thought it would look best with the oxidized copper being around. But, yeah, we're all looking pretty good here on Hermitcraft these days. Let's hop on up here. And let's go to the nether. So I think I'll drop by the shopping district first, so that I can get myself some iron. Zealmans, thank you for the 27 months. Dado Kid, thank you for the 4. Thanks to Best Friends for the gift subs. Oh, awesome stuff. And High Order with a Prime sub as well. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Welcome in. I'll go to Spawn and then go to the shopping district from there, I think. This tends to be the route I take. And Aaron Leia, thank you so much for that 10-month resub. Mandy, thank you for the Prime for 3 months. Let's fly on over and see what's up.
Well, that's just prime.
And Chucko, thank you for the 100 bits. So the iron shop is pretty obvious. Can we get me a hat today? Honestly, the hat's not going to fit over the headphones especially well, so we might have to forego the hat today. Unfortunate though it is. Which of these is the up elevator? Here we go. No iron, no iron, no iron, no iron. No iron, no iron. Some iron, some iron, some iron. Wonderful. And I presume the price is 1 diamond per stack. Of course it is. What a reasonably priced establishment. Let's take 2 stacks. I think we'll go with 2 stacks. I think that will serve us well for the meantime. And then, if we need any more, we can come and buy more. But that's really just for sticky pistons, so we need 1 iron per piston. We'll be fine with that. Each stack is going to break down into 9 stacks of iron ingots. And as far as how many sticky pistons we do need 988, but we have a bunch crafted over there, so we should be good, I think.
Just prime.
CP30, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Nelmster, Shiver Riffs, yeah, that's about right. That's what I evolve into after being exposed to an ice stone, which is what my house feels like right now. And Ginger, thank you for gifting a sub to Lights Lab. Thank you very much. All right, we'll hop back through the portal here. How about under the headphones? It's kind of a boxy-shaped hat. Like, if it didn't have enough... If it had less structure, then I expect we could manage it. Do I have an ETA on my boiler repair? Yes, Friday. Friday just after 10 o'clock. Hopefully they should be here. Sylvan Feather gifting those 5 subs. Thank you so much. Saving level 2 on the hype train. We're on to level 3. Thank you so much for gifting those 5 subs. Folks in the chat, if you've been gifted a sub during the hype train or at any other time, make sure you thank these very generous sub gifters for doing what they do. Do I have 3D directional audio on? I don't. I don't tend to use it that much because I'm not in a situation where I need to know exactly where everything is. And I don't play with headphones on these streams typically. I've still developed the habit of unconsciously going down this staircase, even though we removed that staircase now. I need to remember the way through Azuma's storage system instead. Hey, Hannibal, welcome in. I am cold, but otherwise fine. See, now we go through here, you see. David Fifth, the Copper Strikes Back, yes. Which is funny because we are empires, so kind of makes sense. I do love that it comes out like in the middle of the room though, and now we've got all of these nice, clean frog lights in the floor. The only anomaly right now is the beacons being in such weird places. Enstra, thank you for gifting 2 subs to the community. So the pistons we have so far are in one of these. That one, yeah. So I've got this many so far, and we've got a few iron blocks left in there, so hopefully we should be able to get a few more together. We've got plenty of wood as well for the piston heads. So overall we should be fine. What's the temperature inside now? You're feeling cold with 16 degrees Celsius. Mine is about 12, according to the forecast. Not the forecast, the thermostat. The meter that tracks our energy use and stuff says it is 12 degrees in the kitchen, at least. The kitchen is probably the coldest room in the house, though, so maybe the rest of the house it's a little warmer. And we do have electric heaters, so we're okay, but yeah, it's a little rough. Oh, I need to bring an ender chest with me. I don't have any ender chests in my ender chest, but I think I left one down here, so we might as well grab that. Darkana Sam with 100 bits. G the B with the 200. Yay to the upcoming end of the Pix Icicle arc. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I obviously, like, I don't want to count my chickens just yet because there is a slim possibility that whatever's wrong with our boiler is a more serious issue than just the components that normally cause this fault, but I'm really hoping not. Otherwise, we'd probably have to replace the entire boiler, and then at that point, I might just, like, go up to my parents' house for Christmas and stay there for a while until we could be sure of an installation for a new boiler. But I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. Evelyn Dove, thank you so much for the 100 bits, and Rascotti, thank you for gifting that sub. Alright, let's get the fortune pick on the go. Joe de Valdema, thank you so much for the 100 bits as well. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. Did the indoor temperature inspire me to build the frozen river? Yes. It absolutely did. So, with my wings pretty well repaired at this point, we're just going to fly around until we find some easy exposed quartz. So I don't really care that much about where I'm going as long as I know I can get back. And obviously this is Hermitcraft, so they've probably been on a quartz grind at some stage, and there won't be too much easily accessible, but there's some in the ceiling, there's some in some of the walls around here. I don't have any gold armor or anything, so... And some of it is over lava, of course, so we need to be a little more careful about that. But each of the components that we need quartz for doesn't actually use that much quartz, so, like... We need to make comparators, which use 1 quartz, and observers, which I think only use 1 quartz. So basically, anywhere we can get it from, we are getting ourselves a bunch of components. Which is good, because I need about 1,400 observers. Which is why I was hoping to get a deal done with Tango at some stage as well. Two for observers? I thought it was 2 redstone dust. Maybe I'm incorrect about that. There's a little bit up... Oh, no, that's gold ore. Okay. There's some up there, of course. I'm thinking we probably just grab a bunch of netherrack from around here. And who knows, maybe we run into quartz veins if we do that occasionally. It is 2 redstone and 1 quartz? Yeah, see, I know it's 2 of one thing and 1 of the other, but I always forget which way round it is. Yeah, we'll hop down here. Peel her up and get some of this. Yeah, I've heard Tango is sick, yeah, so that's part of the reason I want to go and get quartz today. Oh, Ollie's online. I haven't watched any of Ollie and Joe's interactions on Hermitcraft yet, but apparently they are quite the combo. Okay, we're not doing too badly. Like I said, I can look at this and go, okay, I have 55 quartz. That means I can make 55 comparators. And suddenly I don't feel so bad. Do have to stay away from the piglins, though. And the skeletons. And anything else that's trying to kill me right now. Help! Lava. Should stay away from lava as well. Yeah, cheers. Some good patches around here. Anything that I can access from ground level, always better. Always appreciated. And in a second, I'll break out a shulker box that we can store all of this stuff in.
just pride.
Not worth it. Not when there's stuff like this around. Alright, let me catch up real fast. Enstra, thank you for the 100 bits. Lottie Robin with the 100 bits. Maldapal, thank you for the Prime sub for 9 months. Internal with the 34. And Purple Lerp with the 2 months. Oh, here's Doc M. The doctor is in. Oh, Nether Fortress. Fun. Yeah, he mentioned on Twitter that he was going to get back on today, and he logged in earlier this morning, so hopefully that means that his health issues are behind him, or at least he's feeling impatient enough to make a video. Gather he has all kinds of weird dragon-related madness going on right now. How would the lore explain what he's been up to and how he returned? Watch his video. Like, it's up to him to to describe any of that stuff. You're so impatient for answers. Like, let him tell the story. That's all we're doing all the time in these, like, crossovers and stuff. We're just telling little stories. Doc M's like, I'm just gonna set up this Ender Dragon catching thing next to your pinball machine. No pressure. Don't worry about it. It'll be gone in a minute. Like, hello? Isn't the Ender Dragon the one that just, like, breaks any blocks it comes into contact with? Yeah. A little bit more up in the ceiling, we might as well grab that. Why do I only have 28 levels? How many am I supposed to have? I'm sorry. I mean, on Empires I had a bunch from using the copper farm, but we're not on Empires right now, so I don't know what to tell you. Gonna have a few more than that, though, because we're fortuning all this quartz, so once it's done repairing any of my gear that I'm holding at the time, I'm probably gonna have a fair few more. Alright, so we got all from the ceiling in there. I did get a message from Tango just now saying that I can go and take some from the bartering farm if I want it. But I might as well just grab some while I'm out here, right? As long as I'm not being set on fire while I do it. How is the score when you die determined? It's all of the XP that you've gathered up until that point, regardless of whether you have it in your, like, levels bar at the time. So even though you've spent some of it on enchanting or repairing or combining stuff or what have you, renaming items in anvils, that kind of thing, the game still tracks the XP that you gathered as part of your score. So when you die, it basically calculates the amount of XP that you've ever had since your last death. Or since the beginning of the game if you haven't died yet. Hunter, thank you for the 19 months, and a Redstone Head. Thank you for the Prime sub. Ski Pro with a 12-month resub. Everyone spam the word nerd in the chat, please. Thank you so much for supporting the channel for a full year. Welcome to the Nerd Herd. Enjoy that nerd sub badge. Happy to have you. Little bits and pieces around here, but nothing too urgent. Gonna skip over this one. Ooh, someone else has been out here. Unless that was me. Was that me? No, that wasn't me. Wonder if they've been looking for quartz as well. So they haven't been looking hard enough, because it's everywhere. It's all around here. Random block of dirt. Love to see it. Nope, not getting that one. Yeah, all of the stuff that's in here, we can't really get any further down than that, can we? Not using conventional means that I have on me right now, anyway. Wilburwood, thank you for the 9 months. There's always plenty in the ceiling around here, isn't there? Nice. How does it feel playing in Hermitcraft right now? I've kind of gotten acclimatized to it, I guess. At first, it was a really interesting feeling because obviously I've been collaborating with the Hermits for a little while now, so it didn't feel too weird having them in Empires, but being on the Hermitcraft server with all of the stuff that they've already built and everything, it was certainly an adjustment. Like, it felt very strange to be on this server that I've watched for the entire season, and obviously previous seasons for about 6 years now. But, yeah, since that, I feel like I've kind of gotten used to it. I know my way around a little bit more, that kind of thing. And obviously this is still a temporary arrangement, so when we head home, it's going to feel strange being back on Empires again, but in the meantime, we can head home to Empires anytime we want to, so there's always that. Some odd portals and stuff around here, but not too worried about that right now, as long as there's quartz to be grabbed. Hope me and Doc collab. We might find the time, we'll see. At the very least, I got to introduce him to some of the stuff around Empires, so I'm quite happy that we got that together before he unfortunately had to take some time off. If nothing else, I hope Doc will enjoy being able to either get some oxidized copper from Azuma or use the oxidizing machine himself, because I've seen him laying out copper in a grid and thinking, you and your friends can come up with some redstone solutions for that. If nothing else, just build cubic meters copper aging factory. Can me and Joel Duggan collaborate for a large survival build? We've talked about playing Minecraft together in the past, but I think one of the best things about the Spawn Chunks as a show is the fact that we can bring different experiences to the table each week. So when we do our check-in at the first like few minutes of the show, when we're just talking about what's new in our Minecraft lives, it's not like we're ever talking about the same thing. Joel's usually got an update for his big build on the Citadel, and I'm working away with whatever else I've got going on, whether it's Survival Guide or Empires or anything in between. Crossover has been great. I hope you guys get to collaborate again once it ends. I'm sure we will. Like, even if it's not for, like, plot reasons, like, we kind of had a storyline going between Empires and Hermitcraft this season. I like the idea that this has opened up the option for us to get more friendly and collaborate on more stuff in future, you know?
Well, that's just prime.
Oh, I thought I was going to be able to be smart and place a block there, but it wasn't letting me. Mystery Raven, thank you for the 3 months of Prime and the smiley face. TS Fatal, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome on in. What happened to the survival guide? Basically, because I knew the Empire's Hermitcraft collab was coming up, I wanted to really dedicate all my time to this series, just so I could really do it justice. I've always said that one of the problems with me joining a multiplayer server was that it would be difficult to split my time between 2 vanilla projects, because I never like putting what feels like 50% of my effort into two things. I always like putting 100% into a single thing. And honestly, when I started Season 2 of Survival Guide, with the success of the first season, I just thought, well, that's it. Survival Guide is the most, like, logical and sensible thing for me to do for my channel, business-wise. You know, it's the thing that's going to drive views. It's my kind of, like, flagship series. But then Survival Guide Season 2 didn't take off in the way that Season 1 did, because I think for Season 1 I was quite lucky in that the YouTube algorithm was feeding people to my channel at the time, right? Like, it felt like people were finding me based on suggested videos because a lot of people were getting back into Minecraft at the time. And now we've reached this sort of equilibrium where it feels like the survival, vanilla, regular Let's Play, single-player world kind of stuff is not really the zeitgeist anymore. I think Dream SMP really changed that. People wanted to see interactions between multiplayer factions and there being kind of more of a storyline to it. The whole lore thing, like, really came out of that. It just kind of changed the game for Minecraft players in a way that some people have struggled to adapt to. And I'm including myself in that because I didn't really feel the storytelling thing worked as well in Minecraft for me as it did for other people. Hence my reluctance to really participate in it too much, even in this season of Empires. But I feel like I found my place in that, and obviously with the opportunity to join the Hermitcraft folks for a collab this season coming up, it was always going to be worth it, you know? Do you kind of miss my single-player world? Yeah, I kind of miss it too, but I've also got to be smart about it. And honestly, the vibe on a multiplayer server is so different because you don't have to find ways of getting all of the resources yourself all of the time, so there's a certain amount to which you can rely on other people for help with that stuff, which is not something I'm used to doing, but it's been a fun way to handle Empires, I think. Will I go back to it between future Empire seasons? Yeah, like I'm not gonna take too much longer of a break from Survival Guide, I think. Like, once the Hermitcraft collab is over, we're gonna have a new year, and it's gonna be, I think, a good time to get back into that stuff. And I have a couple of plans. I think the most difficult thing about keeping a single-player series like that going is relying on yourself exclusively for ideas. You can't really, like, react to other people's stuff and let that side of things take the reins. Like, it just doesn't work that way. We've got a decent amount of quartz now. We're looking quite good. Might be able to supplement this with something from Tango's farm, since he said it's okay for me to use that. I do just want to do a bit more flying around, see what I can grab. Maybe come away with one shulker box of stuff we've gathered ourselves, and then another... Oh, is this a flat path? It sure looks like one. Does this connect to the nether hub, do you think? It's quite large. Wonder if there's any exposed quartz in this. Oh, I guess there is. This might actually be quite a good place to get some in the end. Don't know why I feel so keen to patch up the walls in here, but... What is this? There's a bunch of chests and stuff down here and an ender chest? I mean, presumably they've been, yeah, stashing all of the stuff they've dug out here, but why? Really curious about what this is now. Oh, okay. Good. Love that for me. Yeah, we've lost that one. So no actual terrain beyond this point. Bit of quartz over here, though. Oh, we got that one, but gonna have to come over a couple of blocks to get the rest of this. A lot of gravel around. But even in Soul Sand Valley, it's all just soul sand and stuff laid over a foundation of netherrack. Which means quartz ore all over the dang place. There's quartz in the chests. How much, though? There's quartz ore in here. Only a little bit. I mean, it's still 44 that we didn't have in the first place, but... might as well use this ender chest without placing down the one I'm carrying with me. Your Gamer Girl, thank you so much for the 2 months. Oh, I've got a cup of tea here that I haven't been drinking. It's probably cold. Yeah, that's room temperature. Might be Ren's tunnel to his mushroom island. Why has he made it so big, though? I thought he connected it to the nether roof, or did he not? I need a microwave. I have a microwave. It's just downstairs. I don't really feel like leaving my desk right now. This is one heck of a tunnel, and it does go a long way. Yeah, very curious about this. I've also left myself without any netherrack because I put it all in that chest. Plenty of visible quartz from the top there, though, which is nice. Yeah, that'll do. Feel like I saw Cub digging this out. Can't remember why. If so, yeah. Who knows? The mind of Cub is an enigma. Get one of those USB mug heaters. Can I get a USB me heater? I mean, that's what we have regular plugs for, Pix. And there's super fancy mugs that keep the tea at optimum temperature. Yes, and I think it's fairly clear that I don't own one of those. I also, and this is perhaps a controversial take, sometimes I don't mind drinking cool tea all that much. It's still kind of refreshing, you know? It's always best when it's at, like, a nice drinkable temperature, but I don't mind it getting a little bit cool. Heresy! What country are you even from? If I tried making a little campfire. Gosh, imagine. Local streamer burns down his own house trying to stay warm. Minecraft community mourns loss of absolute idiot. There is so much quartz around here, though. Because evidently whoever's been digging out here has not been doing it for quartz. Like, iced tea, did I join the wrong stream? I mean, iced tea is fine, but I feel like you're setting an expectation for it being iced tea from the beginning, whereas, like, tea that's just gotten cold is not the same thing. I do like an iced tea in the summer, though. Tend to cold brew my own Earl Grey tea to make Arnold Palmer's with, like, half iced tea and half lemonade. Only hermit I know that uses a lot of quartz is impulse, but he trades it with villagers. Yeah, so you don't get quartz items from that, you just get the blocks. And if I was looking for blocks of quartz, I'd be fine with that, but I need this for redstone components, so I need to have the quartz items. And every little helps. If I leave one piece of quartz lying around, then that's another observer I can't craft, so... So a little bit more up here that I can get. There's such huge veins of it always in the ceiling, though. Nice easy kill. Gus couldn't even see me. Can't you get quartz from bartering? You can, yes. And Tango has a bartering setup that I will be visiting after this, but I don't know how much he has there already, so I would like to at least prime myself with a bit of quartz that I gathered myself. And since Tango unfortunately is feeling unwell right now, he isn't around to trade, so I don't have much to give him in return. I was hoping that it'd turn into an opportunity to record a clip together, but yeah, life had other ideas, unfortunately. Lion Guru and UK Alley Cat, thanks so much for the Prime sub and the brand new Tier 1. Appreciate that very much. A quartz saved is a quartz earned, something like that. Go and give that to the bank of quartz. Should have asked Jevin, he has a bartering setup as well. Yeah, I don't want to bother too many people. I think I'm doing okay as I am. Man, glad I came here. This must be like 2 veins of quartz blocks next to each other. There's so much. We can drop down here and get the rest of it. Keeping an eye on these piglins just in case. But I think most of them are zombies. Don't mind if I do. 4 tiers. The true hermit way knows there are people on the server, does it solo anyways. Well, here's the thing. If everybody goes to a place and buys the iron, then sometimes there's no iron left. Sometimes you do have to go out and grind for it. And sometimes the grind makes it feel like it's more of an accomplishment at the end of the day, which is the feeling that I really relate to. I like doing a lot of stuff myself. Like, one of the weaknesses in my character that I've identified over the years, the kind of thing that I bring up if I ever apply for a traditional job, is that I don't always like asking for help. Like, I do like doing a lot of stuff myself for the sense of accomplishment that brings, but in some cases that's kind of a flawed approach. Alright, that's all good. It's my first time picking up soul sand on the server. Hello. There's a little bit more there. The heck happened there? I think there's a ghost block somewhere. The problem with super fast pickaxes. Sometimes you're used to being on a server with Jimmy and there's never any stock. Exactly, right? And even on Hermitcraft, where they farm so much stuff, there is some stuff that's difficult to get hold of. Like concrete, for example. Grian sells concrete powder, but you've still got to craft it into concrete. You've still got to, like... What's the word? Like... You've got to hydrate the concrete yourself. You've still got to convert it yourself. So one of the initial plans for David 5.0, where I've got those platforms of cyan terracotta, it was blue terracotta in the, or maybe light blue, I forget which, but it was one of those in the schematic, and I looked at what we had and thought, you know, I could replace that with like a band of cyan terracotta down the sides and then a band of white concrete in the middle. And then I had to go, actually, no, white concrete's going to be a real pain to get hold of in such a large quantity. So I just didn't do that in the end, and we ended up sticking with just cyan concrete. Cyan terracotta, sorry. Yeah, exactly. You've got to concretificate it with a concretificator. And, sometimes that's more of a pain. Do I play chess? No, not really. Never really had the mind for strategy games like that. I'd be better at it now than I was as a kid, but I still feel like I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. And in the same way that I don't really like Minecraft PvP all that much, trying to outthink other humans has never really been of much interest to me. It's another reason that, like, games like Among Us never really appealed too much to me, is that, like, it's all about trying to figure out your opponent's strategy and that kind of stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I don't really feel that. I just like collaborating with people more than I like competing with them, in a sense. Even though I just said that one of the things I do is, like, try and do stuff by myself. It's not out of a spirit of competition. It's more out of a sense of wanting my own achievement at the end of the day. Is this a bastion? Has somebody been digging to a bastion? Those were the days. Don't tell me this is like a frog-light farm or something. It's not a treasure bastion, surely. No, I don't think it is. Just based on the design here. Maybe somebody needed a lot of blackstone and wanted to take it from a bastion far away. Or maybe I'm just skipping over the point of the tunnel in the first place. Oh, gilded blackstone for impulse? That might have been it. But why has he dug such a big tunnel? I keep coming back to the size of the tunnel as if that really matters, but maybe he was looking for blackstone that way as well. I think you get it below lava lake level in the nether. You don't get it above. So that's probably not it, but even so. Free gold block in there if anyone wants it. But the tunnel does seem to end here. Oh, wait, no, it continues this way. Just as a single bridge. Wait. Is that a treasure bastion? Oh, I think there might be a frog-light farm there, you know? I see the glass cage for it, yeah. Ah. Yeah, the lava trays don't occur in any of the other designs. So that was a treasure bastion. Somebody's really torn that thing down too. The cube around those is huge. I was expecting there to be more of it there. So that is Cub's farm. That makes sense. Again, the kind of person who would take down an entire treasure bastion when they build a frog-light farm there. The lava does look like an arrow. Yeah, it did. Here's the good stuff. Is my boiler fixed? No, which is why I'm still wearing a scarf. And fingerless gloves. You probably can't see it as much behind the microphone, but I am still dressed very warm. It is getting fixed on Friday, though, hopefully. So, not too much longer of this. Oh, time to go. Peace. Hey.
Well, that's just prime.
The timing. The timing. Hessa Alflassi. Alphalassi? Hopefully I pronounced some of that right. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Taking off all the advancements here, apparently. I say all. A handful of them. So much crimson forest around. I don't like it. Give me a warped forest with lots of open quartz deposits, please. I mean, kind of. I don't know if it's the way the game generates them, or if it's just it applying the biome skin over nether terrain that generated this way, but I feel like a lot of warped forests tend to be broken up by really large stretches of lava like this. And the terrain always seems to be precipitous. Always seems to be, like, jagged like this. Is it just me on the server now? No, right now, Joe Hills, Vintage Beef, and Ollie the Orion Sound are on. Azuma seems to be AFK as well. Not sure what he's up to. Okay, we have a full shulker of quartz now. I think that's enough for my own grind. I think we shall probably try and head back to the Nether Hub. We might be able to head back to that platform that we were running across from that bastion. And hopefully that will lead us back towards the center of the world. Just a little bit. Either Joe Hills or Cub dug it out during Hermits Helping Hermits in case they wanted to continue the tunnel all the way to the farm. It explains the size. Yeah, that does explain the size. So if this links up to the Nether Hub, then problem solved, right? A convenient trip. I want to see if we can get a really convenient way of getting return to sender here. Not seeing too many ghasts around, though. Which I'm fine with. Love the live Hermitcraft recap. Thank you. We had a lot of fun making it. I'm really glad the episode came together the way it did, too. Captures just enough of the chaos whilst remaining coherent as a recap. I think it's a win-win. Not going to go for every single quartz vein I see from now on, but if it's, like, directly in my path, then I might as well grab this, right? Anyone else have my stand-up routine in their videos? I think XB asked if he was allowed to use some of it, and I said of course. It was really nice of him to show up, so yeah, since he asked permission, definitely. But I don't know if Cleo or Joe or anybody is going to include it in any of theirs. I know Joe was streaming at the time, but he sometimes edits his streams down into videos, so not sure if it'll make the cut or not. Do I play other games than Minecraft? Yeah, not typically on streams or in videos, though. Right now I'm playing Pokemon Scarlet. I'm still in the kind of end game portion of that. I've seen the end credits, but I'm rematching all of the gyms and stuff like that. Trying to think what else I've played recently or I'm looking forward to playing. I mean, I'm really looking forward to playing Hades 2. I saw the announcement trailer for that the other day from the Game Awards, and man, I'm so happy they're making another game in general. Like, I play everything Supergiant Games makes, so I'd be happy with whatever they were making, but the fact that it's their first, like, direct sequel is really cool. I know a lot of people will probably want them to make something new, but I'm just happy seeing them make anything again. There's a bit more nether quartz in here, which I'll grab. But they've obviously got so much Greek mythology they can dig into, and I wonder what kind of refinements they can make over the original formula, because Hades was such a tight game. There really aren't many aspects of that game that I felt like could be improved upon towards the end, but I could have played so much more of it. Since beating it for the first time and getting, like, I got 100% of the achievements for that game on Steam, I still went back and replayed it, like, 3 times, because I just really like the game. Some ancient debris in there, that's cool. I might just get that real fast, actually. There we go. Just going to leave that there, put it back, but get the achievement anyway. Really want to get to playing Transistor Empire sometime. Transistor, before Hades, was my favorite game they had done. And I didn't really click with Pyre at first, but I came back and played Pyre after a friend, actually a family member, I guess, like my brother-in-law on my partner's side, was playing them all on stream. And he played Bastion and Transistor at separate times, but he also played Pyre, and I just, like, fell in love with that game again. So I think Bastion, out of all of them, is probably their weakest now, because they've just improved upon everything they've done. That's North Tunnel. We need to go to... Actually, we need to go to the Nether Roof, but I might drop this stuff off of X's base first, just so we can start crafting once we're back. Fazoo, thank you for the 27. Off to work, look. Hey, no worries. Don't work too hard. Bastion being your weakest game is an achievement in itself. Absolutely it is, yeah. No, Bastion's great. And, like, really cemented their position as really good storytellers. I feel like it's just, like, the gameplay is fun, but nothing too special. I think the world they've created is the most important part of it, but I love Transistor. Like, I love the battle system in it, the strategy of it, the mystery of the world that they've created for it. All of that stuff is just mind-blowing to me. And Hades is just so compelling and such a fun story. I think there's a lot to be said for it. New Supergiant game also means new Silky Smooth narrator. Did Logan Cunningham do the narration for Hades? Because I know he did the voice of Hades, but I don't know if he did the narrator as well, because he's so versatile. I love the fact that Darren Korb, who's the composer, was the guy who voices Zagreus, but he also voices, like, Skelly. It's 2 very different voices. What is this place? This is Azuma's base. Why not make a blast chamber for David? Well, because the main problem with it is getting all of the copper blocks to one place. It involves like a lot of extra pistons, whether it's a feed tape or more redstone flying machines or something like that. And I just haven't figured out a convenient way of doing that that's like that works over such a spread out area. Because the whole point of spreading the copper out is to get it... Where's the entrance to this? There we go. The whole point of spreading the copper out is to get it 4 blocks apart so it ages, and then you can get it back together, but then you've got to compact it even further, and there's so many different ways of doing that, you know? Let me see where Tango says, go to Nether Roof, fly directly southeast about 1,200 blocks. You should find it. Okay, cool. So southeast is this way. About 1,200 blocks. I assume once we get into like a Crimson Forest kind of biome, we'll find it. That's Doc's Ghast Catcher. Hades was such a great example of story fitting the gameplay cycle. Yeah, like the ludonarrative harmony is the way you'd probably put it. It's just, oh, it was so good. And the fact that every time you go back to the house, every time you respawn, it unlocks more of the story for you. You just get to discover more of what the characters are doing. See, the thing with this is I play without the... I play with the nether fog on, and Tango probably doesn't. So I don't know if I can take fog out. Is it somewhere in here? Roof, portal, rain. I mean, I guess it's not a particle, so it's probably not, right? Fog occlusion. It's not that, no. Entity distance, entity shadows, distortion effects. That's all the general Minecraft settings. Not sure if it would be this far. I think I'd know it when I saw it. And this is all like Basalt Delta's sky. I mean, I'm at 1200 now going southeast. I feel like I've overshot. I don't know if anyone can go and look up Tango's videos for me and see if there are any coordinates for the bartering farm. But he just said, go to the nether roof, fly directly southeast about 1200 blocks and you should find it. But southeast at a diagonal, I'm just not certain. Okay. That's interesting. That shouldn't be possible. That looks like a world loading error to me. 118 to 119 glitch. Yeah. Wild. Early 119 bugs. Don't know where I should be looking. Right around there, about 1100, 1300 Z. Okay, thanks, Tango. Didn't realize you were in chat, sorry. Everyone wish Tango well and tell him to get well soon. There is a baby zombie piglin here. More zombie piglins. Another zombie piglin. So that means there are solid blocks around here somewhere. We're getting warmer. Oh, there it is. Now to find which one of these we actually need. I'm assuming it's this one, underneath the Ferris wheel. Somebody has clearly not needed all of that. Oh, there's a fair bit here already. Some of it's been made into stairs and stuff. But you know what? I think... Oh, there's plenty loose in here. Fantastic. That should be more than enough for what we need. Thank you, Tango. Everybody in chat say thank you, Tango. You know, I'm going to take a full shulker of this, since there does seem to be quite a lot of it. But I think... Fingers crossed, that should be all we need. Carry on, KK, thank you so much for the 28 months. Jade No More, gifting a sub to Tango, thank you very much. Alrighty. Right, let me stock up on fireworks again real quick. And we'll leave those in there. Alright, with all of that quartz under our belts, I think we are ready to get chopping some components. Tango, Zoom and Impulse have been working on a list of farms you can view using a list command. Okay. In terms of, like, where the coordinates are and stuff, that's cool.
Well, that's just prime.
Talisman, so thank you for the 49 months. Yes, that is how long you've been here. Still no boiler parts then? No, they should be arriving on Friday. Like, a plumber should be out here to fix our boiler on Friday. Which is how come I'm streaming with a scarf and fingerless gloves on today. There is still snow outside as well. It's not actively snowing, but it has not thawed. But we only got like a light dusting of snow, really. Enough to make the path slippy, and that's about it. Did they say which Friday? this Friday coming, the 16th. How are we holding up without boilers? I mean, it's rough, but we're coping. We're coping in the knowledge that it's going to get fixed fairly soon. So. But yes, we have no hot water and no heating currently. So we have space heaters, electric heaters that we're using to heat the house. And the hot water is all coming from the kettle and the stovetop. This has apparently been happening to a lot of other people as well, so we're not alone. I don't feel too bad. I can't feel too sorry for myself. Especially considering we're able to afford to run electric heaters in our house when a lot of other people are struggling with, like, energy costs and stuff this winter, so it's really unfortunate, but at least we still have tea. Izzy has it right. At least we still have tea. Tea and Minecraft. Again, I'm going the wrong way. Again. Tea and Minecraft are top priorities, yeah. And it could be worse. We could have lost all power because, you know, our furnace and our you know, boiler and our stovetop are both gas-powered, but a lot of other stuff in the house relies on electricity. And obviously my work relies on electricity. It's not like I can gas-power my PC. So, yeah, it could have worked out very differently, you know? Our heater's on the fritz too here, lots of blankets and snuggling. Well, those are always the silver linings, right? That's the good stuff you get out of it, is more blankets, more snuggling. Let's fill this with stone, because we'll need a lot of stone to craft comparators with. And a lot of cobblestone, actually, to craft observers, so we'll need a fair bit. A hamster-powered PC. I would get on a bike. I would get on a bike and I'd be powering it with kinetic energy, my own human effort. I don't know if anyone watches Brian David Gilbert's stream, but he often streams video games from his exercise bike. I feel like that would be me, but out of necessity rather than out of any desire to get fit. I'd just be like, I gotta play on Hermitcraft. Didn't realize BDG streamed? He does, yeah. I watched him play the entirety of Elden Ring from the back of an exercise bike. He was on the exercise bike, not me. Incredible. Like, so funny. Obviously, I've been watching his videos for a while. I loved him at Polygon with the Unraveled series, but been subbed to his, like, regular channel for a bit, too. The man's very talented. Hatchling, thanks so much for the 200 bits. At my school, someone made a machine where you could pedal it under your desk to create energy. Nice, yeah. That would be pretty handy in an energy crisis. So the real thing we need to do, I think I need to go back to Azuma's storage where he said he had a ton of sticks. Because making redstone torches requires a lot of wood. Especially when you need 3 per comparator, and we need to make... Let me go back to my chat with Azuma. We need to make 936 comparators. I think I have now placed all the redstone torches we needed. We needed 1,400 of those. But we need more than that in terms of observers, so we have needed a lot of quartz for this project. Where did he say the sticks were again? There was a spot in here somewhere. It was directly above one of these, I feel like, that was just all sticks. And now I can't remember where that was. I feel a fool. There they are. They're all above the oak wood. Okay. Remember that for next time. Jem says she has her PC hooked up to AGM batteries. Yeah, I really need to get a, one of those, is it like a USP, like an uninterruptible power supply? So that you can, when a power cut happens, the PC stays on for long enough that you can, like, shut everything down. Without losing data or recordings or anything. Alright, so that's a stack of comparators. This is where a lot of the redstone is going to go. It's in crafting these accursed things. It's so funny. Azuma gave me an entire shulker box of redstone blocks, and I was like, surely I'm not going to use all of that. And we're down to the last row, the last 8 stacks. And we have to use so much of it in the next little while to craft this stuff. We'll throw those in there for the minute. We'll need... For once, we don't need redstone dust for the crafting recipe for this, right? We just need a stack of quartz and 3 stacks of stone. And that gets us 1 stack of comparators. Watch all of those components go away. Okay, we'll put those in here for the minute. you think about it, one redstone block, like one stack of redstone blocks is going to give you 9 redstone dust. Each of those is going to be 3 stacks of torches. So each of those is 3 stacks of comparators. Like 3 stacks of comparators is what you get out of an entire stack of redstone blocks. They're all just gone like that. And like 936 comparators probably takes us up to about here, because the entire thing is 1,728, right? So we need to go a little over halfway. I think about here. Lots more sticks needed. Imagine David needing dispensers. I would not make it. Honestly, if I needed the amount of dispensers that I need for droppers, I need 936 droppers for this. But you can craft those just by shift-clicking, and you can make a stack at a time. If I had to craft 930 dispensers, I would find another way to do it. Who do you think stole all the diamonds? I'm going to blame Grumbot. Jimmy. I think Empires outnumbers Hermitcraft right now. That middle 4 people is all Empires. Azuma's AFK. And we have 2 other people from Hermitcraft online. Time to stage a coup. I don't think we can stage a coup. We don't have all the diamonds. An awfully handsome David you got there. It's coming along well. Easiest way to impulse on Ren's bases. Where is Ren's base? Like, I think of Ren's base as the Mushroom Island, or the castle, I guess. Bakecast, thanks so much for the 8 months. Hatchley with the 200 bits. Have you seen the crafting machine from Cubic Meter? Yes. Yeah, I've seen a few Cubic Meter's designs. And yeah, Psycraft have a similar thing. I think Doc M ended up doing, if not that exact design, then something similar. Like in one of his Hermitcraft videos before the crossover happened. Joe's got good advice there. Anything for Ren can be dropped off. Care of Ren Dog at Gigapies. Jimmy doesn't know that Impulse and Gem and Pearl all share a tunnel. Alright, let's throw a few of these in here. I'll need to go and get more stone in a second. I think even Mumbo would be impressed by David V. He'd have to get on the server for that. Boom, roasted. Got him. Still got repeaters there in case we need them, but I think we're done with repeaters as well. Amazing the amount of redstone torches I've had to spend on this. Could do with Gok's fast crafting machine. Yeah, I think I'm doing okay with that, though. Honestly, like, the amount of components I need to craft with this is still relatively slim compared to the setup all of that stuff takes. Relatively slim and a little bit shady. Does this mean that without Mumbo, even Hermitcraft has no purpose and should be purged? Shh! Don't let Grumbot know! I don't know if Grumbot has learned to read Twitch chat yet, but if he has, we're all doomed. Woe betide him if he ever sees the Hermitcraft subreddit. Might have to shut him down permanently after that. Alright, let's go grab another batch of sticks. Someone said put David behind a vault and Mumbo would come back. I don't think so. Green has a suit and a Mumbo head he can pull out of storage. Yeah, has Grumbot seen Vintage Beef's episode where Mumbo came back? That's probably the one you need to watch. The one he needs to see. Noticed Grumbot has been commenting on Mumbo's videos. I'm pretty sure that's just a fan account. Like, it's cool when people do stuff like that, but it also feels kind of weird because Grumbot is like a character Green has created with a very specific, like, voice. And so people, like, impersonating Grumbot in other people's comments always feels kind of weird to me. I don't know. Like, it's just people from the fandom having fun, but always feels a little bit strange to me. Like assuming the voice of a character. Okay, we might be done there. What is that? That's 15. I mean, I should be able to do 15 times 64, but I'll do it in calculator. 960. Okay, I think we're done. I think we're done with comparators. Right, now for observers. Got a lot of redstone torches left, but that's fine. Always need them for stuff. I think, honestly, yeah, we need more. We needed more than one. We need more than what we've got in here for the observers to be part of this as well. Because obviously each of those needs 2 redstone, 1 quartz, and a ton of cobble. Which thankfully we got just from digging this room out. Like, I've taken cobble over to the Christmas area and all kinds of places, but there's still tons of cobble left here from where we dug the whole room out. Azuma mentioned to me the other day how many blocks it was that we've cleared out of this area, and I lowballed it. I didn't think we'd cleared that much, but I think it's about 200,000. Okay, which of these should I use for... I mean, let's put them in here, surely. Someone's saying, don't let Pearl see this chest monster. Pearl is welcome to help me clean this up if she wants to. It's not going to be here for long. I have a lot of blocks to place. Like the title of the stream today? Yeah, I mean, it's David V. The other thing I need to craft a lot of with cobblestone is pistons. And we'll need redstone and iron for those. Along with the warped wood that we've been using elsewhere. What am I building again? This is a copper aging facility, which is capable of aging about 450 copper blocks, all spaced 4 blocks apart so they age at the maximum rate. I'm gonna run out of redstone dust. But I'm running out of cobblestone first. Take this with us. Throw that in there. Whose house is this under? This is under Azuma's base. And Azuma is the one with the extraordinarily powerful ENXO4 copper farm, so I think he's probably the one who is best placed to make use of a massive copper aging setup like this. There we go. I can go to Scar's shop for redstone components. Does Scar have an entire shulker box of observers? Because that is basically what I need to craft here. We're on to our second box of quartz. That's 2 more stacks of observers. Some Christmas magic, is that what they're calling it these days? Why do I have a wooden axe in my inventory? It helps with Lightmatica. So Lightmatica is the schematic program we're using to create blueprint holograms of big contraptions like this, just to make sure you place everything right. It can check whether blocks are placed in the wrong place, etc., etc. And a wooden axe is the tool I use because you don't use it for anything else. To make sure that, like, if I'm moving stuff around in Lightmatica, if I want to make edits to the schematic, for example, if we want to do what I have been doing and turn all of these dark oak planks into warped wood planks so that they match the schematic properly, that's how you do that. You do that with a specific tool, which in my case I've designated the wooden axe for that. So I can turn that into cyan terracotta, same thing. It doesn't physically swap it over in survival, it just swaps over the block that it's expecting to find if you look at the schematic. Hopefully that made sense. Staying warm today? Trying to. I feel very tense right now. I feel like I'm like hunching myself against the cold. How cold is it in my city? Right now the temperature is like like -1 Celsius. It's not super cold, but it is cold when you don't have any way to heat your house besides electric heaters that are only really good for one room at a time. Didn't mean to place that, but there you go. Who is the first hermit? Generic B. Alright, that's 2 full shulkers of that. We'll grab a bit more for the inventory. Or the inventory. I've been trying to say it inventory more frequently. Yeah, 1 degree... -1 is like 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Freezing point of water is 0 Celsius. And people argue about whether Celsius or Fahrenheit is the better scale, but I really think it's all about how you use it and what you're using it for. Like, it makes perfect sense to me that Fahrenheit is a better measure of body temperature, while Celsius is a better measurement of water temperature. Like, that makes perfect sense to me. Different scales for different things. People will argue that we should just be using Kelvin for everything anyway. And I like those people. They're my kind of nerds. Okay, let's break down all of this. This might be enough redstone dust to craft the last of the observers that we need, but if not, hilarious. And I'm pretty sure Azuma has more anyway. Let me get the calculator back out real fast so that I can check. 1482 divided by 64. It's 23 stacks, so not quite a full shulker box, but yeah, 23.1 stacks. So we need to be up to about there. 24, 25, 26, 27. So we do need more redstone. Azuma? Salarymen had any trouble with their inks or fountain pens? I imagine ink doesn't like the cold. I haven't heard if so. But ink is made out of such a variety of other things that, like, some of it may work better or worse in colder environments. I don't know. Well, he has some blocks of redstone in here, which we will take. Because I still need to make the sticky pistons. Am I a summer or winter man? I used to like winter a lot more, but lately I have enjoyed summer a lot more just because of longer daylight hours, more comfortable temperatures. I think I would rather generally be cold than be too hot, but it's also all relative, right? Like, I'm definitely not enjoying being cold right now. Okay, a couple more stacks and we should be good. In fact, I think that is where we need to be, more or less. It's a lot of observers, man. It's a lot of observers. Okay, so that's that. Now we have... Oh my goodness, so much. I want spring back, I want my plants. Yeah. Do you think metric would be improved with some sort of equivalent of feet? Yeah. Rather than being everything in centimeters or multiples thereof. Wood. Wood is what I need. I'm going to use crimson wood for this because we've used a lot of warped wood already, but he has like shulkers of crimson wood that we can convert. Do I like autumn or spring more? I think I like spring more. I love autumn's colors, but I think spring is... It's like everything's getting lighter, everything's sort of anticipating summer. It gets quite rainy in spring here in the UK, but it gets rainy every season, so that's not really much of a metric to go by. Okay, that should at least be enough to get started. We need 4 stacks. Stack of redstone dust. We don't need the quartz anymore. So I think we almost got enough just out under our own steam that we didn't need to use too much from Tango's bartering supplies. It's wonderful to have had them nonetheless. And then the iron, that's the other thing we need. We need a stack of iron per stack of pistons. There we go. And which of these had the sticky pistons in? Because then we can start isolating exactly which of these. There we go. Exactly which of these we can take with us on this grand tour of components. I'll put this stuff away that I'm not really using right now. Hopefully we can craft not quite 2 stacks of pistons. There we go. We need a lot of those. Let's grab all of this. We only need slightly more slime blocks than honey blocks, and that's because we're using those for the flying machines as well. But Azuma has a fair amount of slime, so that's okay.
That's just prime.
No, that's just slime! Lady Hesper, thank you so much for the 5 months. Welcome back. Okay, observers, Crimson Wood, yeah. We need... How long is the building time for David V? I haven't really been keeping track. I expect I could figure it out by how many replay mod time lapses I've done, though. So maybe I can get back to you on that. I've pretty much always been recording when we've been building this. If not, like, the process of digging this area out. Behind you, Gem. More cobblestone, please. I know you have it in here. Thank you. So much cobblestone needed for this. Alright, we'll take a little bit more. Behind you, Gem Impulse said calmly, right? I think we might be able to finish up here with enough pistons. Because again, we need to get to about here. 988 sticky pistons? Yeah, somewhere around there. What's Jimmy want feathers for? Only got 1 redstone now. throwing so much of this on the ground. So messy. Lofad, thank you for the 21 months. Best stream title ever. Hope you've been able to keep warm, all things considered. I'm doing my best. It's getting a little bit chilly in here now the sun has gone in. But I'm doing my best. Alright, plenty of slime. 3 more stacks of sticky pistons. We are getting close. I think we're almost there. I think that might be it. I think we may have enough. Again, let me... 988 divided by 64. 15. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we will need another stack to really cover it. It's 15.4 as well. So we'll need a touch more iron. Enough to get us a full stack at least. Stack of wood should cover it. That should get us there. Okay, folks, we're going to take a break. I'm going to log out of the server. I need to log back in with replay mod, and I'm going to take a brief break just to go and get some more tea, run to the bathroom. I'll need a hot beverage, but after this, we're going to build the next section of David. Look forward to it. Enjoy the music. I'll be back in a few minutes' time. guys can see that. I brought the heater in. The heat needed a bit of a boost. Hello. If you're just joining us, welcome in. My boiler is getting fixed on Friday. And until then, I am cold. But it's okay, we're doing alright. The heater is... Oh, I can feel it. Hopefully going to warm my bones for a little bit. And we work on the bones of my boy. My boy David. So we have... I'm just going to get some of this stuff organized before we really make a big push here. I can throw this stuff in some of these chests and whatnot, because we won't need the individual slime balls. We'll need the comparators, the sticky pistons and the slime blocks, the honey blocks from in here, which I'll take with me. We'll need those. But then I feel like we can put this stuff in here for the minute. We won't need the redstone lamps and the note blocks until the very end. So we can leave all of this around. So you and I get jealous over here. We're in summer and I'm melting. I would gladly trade. It's too cold in my house. So we'll take this one. This one. This one. Ah, come back. We need a bunch of the warped planks. So I'll take the ones we've made and I'll already grab a few more. We don't need any of that. We don't need the quartz. We need observers. We shouldn't need any more redstone dust. I think we've placed all of that. We shouldn't need those. So I'll put this away in the ender chest for now. Rest of that's all fine. Oh yeah, I need to return this. After Impulse, I don't know if anyone was on Impulse's stream the other day where he was setting up all of the terracotta sails. I went in there, I took the entire cyan shulker box with me, and I just left 3 diamond blocks in its place. So hopefully he found that. We'll move all of these out of the way. Like up against the back wall or something here, so we can just deposit those later. I expect Azuma has like a shulker unloader or something, but that's all stuff we need. These are no longer needed. We told him he should sell some by the box. Yeah, I didn't expect any kind of like bulk discount or anything, so yeah, I just ended up taking the entire thing. Someone did the same in your glass shop, Ginger? Nice. Oh, so right now, the heater is really helping. I might turn it down, weirdly. Because, like, my hands and my feet are still cold, but my face almost feels too hot now. Sorry, I'm, like, running over my headphone cable. Just scooting around on this chair. So these two I'm going to leave here. Because these are the two that I might actually need to access later, depending on if we need more warped stem. Or warped wood, rather. And the stuff in this is very, like, very later on. But I think we're ready to make a start. So I'm going to log back out again. Relog with replay mod. And we're going to build some more of this. The first thing we need to do is place observers. In fact, the first thing I need to do is make sure that the entire schematic is revealed and swap all the blocks, but swap all the blocks. But for that, we can do that once we've relogged. All right, let's do this. No plans for auto-placing and breaking? Nope. Not for this design, at least. Azuma can figure that stuff out if he would like to, but I am not going to be doing any of it. Because it just adds to the material cost, adds to the... Where'd I leave the wooden axe? Did I leave it in the ender chest somewhere? Oh, it's in there. Alright, I put that directly under a stone block. Good. I need to go into edit mode. Need to replace those. Need to replace these. And now everything should line up okay. Could David be turned vertical, or is there something that needs to be horizontal? Nope, you could do a vertical one. In fact, vertical would probably work better because the way copper aging is calculated is by random ticks within a chunk. And vertically spacing this stuff makes sure that everything stays random ticked, even if a player is not standing immediately adjacent to it. Like random chunks, like chunk ticks happen basically throughout an entire chunk, not just there's no vertical limit. There's a horizontal limit but no vertical limit is what I'm trying to say. Oh, I'll tell you what I could have used for this. Scaffolding. Too late now. So this is all going in a time lapse, so I'm going to try and work fairly efficiently here. Apologies if I'm not able to look at chat as much. But there's just going to be a lot of individually going through and placing blocks. And I think as far as time-lapse shots go, it would probably be better if we built a more complete picture of some of these circuits all at once, but unfortunately it's kind of difficult to do that. The amount of components that they require. I think it's faster to go through and place them with as minimal inventory management as possible. So ideally just switching between two separate blocks. So that I don't have to open my inventory at all. Don't have to pick block as much. One mistake I made on the schematic for this, by the way, is that I forgot a piece of redstone dust in the schematic. So there's one thing where it looks like the redstone dust is improperly placed, and it turns out it was just missing from the schematic. I also now get to introduce you to the floor horse. Is X here? If he asks me to get in voice chat, then I can, but... Yes, I'm here. The voice of our overlord. I think we are basically good for components now. I think the only other thing I might need is some obsidian, which I think X said he had in storage. But we won't need that until we set up the flying machines and the return stations anyway, so should be fine. Okay, that's our first stack of observers all done. Did I get all the quartz? I did, yes. Tango was kind enough to direct me to the bartering farm, but I did get about a shulker box of it from the nether itself, which only took about an hour, so it really wasn't too bad. Yeah, I found a tunnel that had been dug out towards, I think, Cub's Froglight farm, which Cub and Joe had dug out, and there was just tons of quartz all over the walls for that, but also a bunch of areas of the open nether which had lots of quartz ore left in them. I figure nobody tends to bother too much mining for quartz now because piglin bartering is another option, so it's not like the old days of a Minecraft server when if you wanted to build with quartz, all you had to do, you couldn't trade it from villagers. The only option was to go and like gather it from the nether cavern. Exolotl best X. I have a soft spot for B-Zoomer. I quite like B-Zoomer. Voided Mirror, thank you so much for the 6 months. Halfway there. Oh, wrong one. Got so much quartz from digging for ancient debris, don't know what to do with it. I rarely do redstone. Now is the time to get into redstone if you've got that much quartz. Alternatively, make a lot of daylight sensors, because if you're a builder, they make really nice ceiling tiles. Will this crossover eventually lead to more epic farms being built on Empires? Well, we're on Hermitcraft for right now. They built a lot of epic farms on Empires. But Empires tends to be more focused on, like, interactions and storytelling and stuff than it does on pushing Minecraft to its limits, the way I think a lot of folks on Hermitcraft like to do. Thinking about X, Cub, Doc, Impulse and Tango, you know. The folks who really want to push the technical side of Minecraft further. I mean, I built a pretty great Wither Skeleton farm whilst the Hermits were on Empires, so I can now get Wither Skeleton skulls by the stack if I want to. Is the Empires season coming to an end? No, we have no plans to end it right away. While the Hermits visiting was obviously like a landmark event in this season's history, it is by no means the end of the season. Doc does have the Psycraft mindset, of course he does. No worries, Seth. The boiler is still not functioning, but it should be fixed on Friday. The plumbers are coming out to see it on Friday morning, and they should have the parts they need to fix it now as long as there are no further issues. And if there are, I may just move house. I kid, of course, but I might end up going and staying with my parents for a little while longer if we need to, like, get an entirely new boiler or something. But I am hopeful that that is not the case, and the plumbers seem to just be swamped with fixing other boiler breakdowns, so it seems to be a fairly common issue right now. And hopefully all of those people don't have to get new boilers. So hopefully I won't have to. Oh. Misplaced that one. Also have to make sure I don't break any of the redstone dust here if I'm digging my way back up onto this. But it should let me know when stuff is broken, so... As in the case of stuff like this. Easy fix. Yeah, this one is always going to look kind of awkward. Ignore that. Are there plans for future collabs between the two servers, like the Rift won't close and you could visit each other randomly? We'll leave the details of what the Rift is doing to the story as we tell it in the videos and stuff, so I'm not going to reveal too many of those details, but obviously I'm kind of hopeful that this is an opportunity for folks on both sides to have fun collaborating with people and see if they want to take those collaborative relationships anywhere else. Which kind of makes it sound like we want to date. We don't want to date. I mean, we want to see if you know, people can start other series together, or, you know, some more stuff between Empires and Hermitcraft can happen, but obviously, like, the big climactic stuff that's happening as part of the storyline is really going to be contained to videos and streams for right now. Yeah, we don't need more more incidents like Hermes. Much as we all love Hermes, I think he's better off being unique. We end up with some kind of like Empire-style Teen Titans thing where Hermes takes over for Joel. This like personification of David that the fans have cooked up takes over from me. Zoop Shooter, thanks so much for the 12 months. Everyone spam the word nerd in the chat, please. Thank you so much for the full year of support. Enjoy that nerd sub badge. Welcome to the Nerd Herd. Ollie and Joe Hill seem to be getting along great. I hope so. Nalanu, thanks so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate the 6 months. Where is Floor Horse? Oh, I can show you Floor Horse in a second. Once we get over to the other side of the room, you'll get to see Floor Horse in all his glory. The Floorse. It's a Fortnite dance, isn't it? Yeah, and obviously, like, some of the folks from Empires, like Lizzie, Joel, Jimmy, have already been part of other collabs with the Hermits from stuff like Last Life, Third Life, any of those. Just got here, the first thing I hear is Floor Horse. Have some sympathy for the YouTube viewers. I put the Floor Horse in the announcement video. No, the announcement video, the announcement post on YouTube. So they've been holding on for Floor Horse for the last 2 hours. I think you should be able to see it from here. There you go. Floor Horse. It's on this side of the room. And this is an issue with, like, not an issue, really. It's a function of Lightmatica where it copies over entities that are present in the schematic when you take the schematic. Which, in my case, because I built this in a creative flat world without mob spawns disabled, it includes a horse. That if I go into the Lightmatica menu and I hit ignore entities, the horse disappears because it's obviously not, like, there. But I think it's funnier if the Floor Horse is just kind of hanging out. Me and Azuma observed this phenomenon earlier today. I thought it was quite funny. He's the official mascot of Project David. Yeah, well, me and Azuma decided that he should be called David, probably. So, David the Floor Horse. Or yes, the Floors, if you prefer. David Horsefield. This is going quite smoothly so far. I think you guys are being spared the most boring part of this, which is going to be crafting all of the wooden shovels. Because I have to make 936 droppers, which I think I might have already made. I remember there being a lot of those in one of the shulker boxes. But half of those need to be filled with 4 wooden shovels, and then I need to put wooden shovels in all of the 234 furnaces, which I haven't placed yet. So, yeah, we're going to have one heck of a wooden shovel crafting party. Considering they're not stackable items, you could only, in theory, if you completely clear your inventory, you could do 36 at a time. Well, 37 if you count the offhand. Even with shulker boxes and stuff, that's still a lot of shulker boxes. I think the best way to do that is going to be to divide it up by rows. So you bring like a couple of shulker boxes to each row, and you make sure you go down the row systematically, filling up the droppers, filling up the furnace. And yeah, getting Cleo and Joe to just mindlessly craft shovels for me could potentially be a thing. Alternatively, I have all of tomorrow free, and I may end up doing a fair bit of this tonight, so we'll see how it goes. Can you just take the swords out of a gold farm? Sure. I don't think it's necessarily as easy a solution as you mean. Like, the crafting side of things is not honestly that bad, because you can still craft them in large numbers. It's just moving them around that's the problem, right? It's not like the shovels are unstackable when you craft them. They're just unstackable once you put them in your inventory. So imagine trying to move... So that's like, what's that, 936 droppers, halve that, but then effectively double it because you're putting 4 shovels in there each time. That's still like 1,800 gold swords that you have to liberate from a zombie pigman farm. And I think a lot of the farms on the server, they don't even drop swords because they're not aggro-based, so... There are other ways of doing it, sure. Are they more effective? I don't know about that. Especially considering X farms infinite amounts of the netherwood, which is how come we're building this entire thing out of warped wood. Could you do mushroom stew and just bring the mushroom around with you? I'll bring the mushroom around with you. I suppose that is an option. You would have to have a lot of bowls. And a mushroom, I guess. Do shears work? I mean, they would. I don't know if you can... Can you smelt shears? But again, the problem is not so much in crafting the items and, like, the material cost incurred by that. It's in getting them all 4 at a time into the individual droppers. It's the kind of thing that would almost be made better just by a system feeding them into the droppers. Like creating a temporary rig of hoppers or something like that. But again, this is such a large contraption that amount of hoppers would just be ridiculous. And there'd be no way of limiting it to just 4 shovels per dropper, you know? Where's my observer box? There we go. Alright, we need to go and get more warped words. David, powered by soup. It could be worse. I could have decided to do this with cake again. I feel like that'd be a ZAF thing. I bet I could get a ZAF to eat, like, 1,500 cake slices or whatever, right? Hermits helping hermits eat cake. It's a shame that the royal achievement of, like, thou shalt not throw parties, the royal decree isn't still in effect, because that'd be one heck of a party if we did this with cake again. How much do you want to punch Joe and I, Jevin? Yeah, there you go. That'd be a good way of bringing the hunger down. Is the floor horse still around? Of course it is. The floor is a horse, of course, of course. We should actually be getting very close to the floor horse right now. Cleo would do it by herself if she got to punch Ijevin. I think there's still... It would still take a lot of time to eat that much cake. And trust me, I know. I've been there. Floor horse! I need to adjust the pick block buttons on Lightmatica so it moves to slots 7 and 8 the way I prefer it to, instead of always taking my torches. Yeah, this is POV. Your horse is in the floor. It'd be absolutely hilarious if that horse had Corrales' eyes. Tragically, it does not. Started building a David in your base too. It's a very satisfying build. It is. I don't know. I find it very compelling building one of these guys. Okay, next layer is probably going to be individually a lot of pistons, honey, and slime blocks. Although we could get the furnaces and comparators and stuff done first. I think it might be easier to build it up systematically. And also we're going to need a lot of furnaces and comparators. A lot of droppers. Here's the comparators. Chaos Monster with the 1107, thank you so much. Just got that it's a floor horse and not a floor horse. Santa Azuma is here. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, there you are.
You said hello as I was literally about to like turn away from the computer, and then I was like, "Oh, quick! Press the buttons, make the things happen."
Quick! Be social. Be social.
Yes,
no
must
worries.
be social.
Don't want to interrupt you if you're in the middle of something else, but
it's all good.
I'm now on the layer of this where I have to place all of the comparators, furnaces, and droppers before we get into pistons and stuff like that. But all of the observers that are these are reading a signal that when the flying machine returns with all of the copper, it resets all of the counters. So the observer's all facing down into this redstone line. That's what that does.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, they'll get updated and send a signal down. And yeah, I know from the schematic, which I can turn on.
Yeah.
I see parts of it now. Yeah, there's the furnace and the block. That's clever because the comparator can pull through a block from an inventory, so you kind of get a 2-for-1 there.
That's something that I didn't do in my build on Empires, and then some very well-meaning technical folks in my chat said, you could do that, and I was like, I will do that next time because that makes my job half as laborious, and probably contributes to like keeping lag down from the furnaces and stuff as well.
That's true, yeah. Every little helps, especially on Hermitcraft when you do things at this scale.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I'm worried about with all of the like lighting updates from redstone torches and stuff. Is this just going to become lag festival? But I'm hoping not. And a lot of the redstone components won't be like too active most of the time, so it's not like it's constantly blinking on and off like a storage system would,
Yeah, I think you can kind of counteract that a little bit by putting stronger light sources nearby. So if I run through with some frog lamps at certain spots, like they'll just override what the torches are doing anyway. So we'll be able to optimize it.
I was not sure what height would be best, so I didn't include those in the schematic, but you've got free reign of the place once I'm done placing all of the blocks. So yeah, you can certainly give that a try.
Wonderful.
All right. Anything you need to check in with, or am I good to just keep going?
Keep going, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And if you need like anything from me, of course, like let me know. Of course. Since you got all the quartz together, I figured I would perhaps work on the entrance, like hooking this area up to the bit up top, make that
absolutely.
much better.
I'll keep working on the engineering. You can focus on aesthetics, and this is your base, so I want to make sure that you've got free creative license to do whatever with this.
Wonderful, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, enjoy. I'll get back to placing all of these furnaces and stuff.
Yes, thank you. I'll log out and then I'll be back on in a little bit because I'm gonna be streaming myself. So
yes, all right,
you'll see me around.
Yeah, we'll hand over to you at the end of my stream, I think.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, see you, my dude.
See you in a bit. And I'm not sure, actually, if we want to have the furnaces facing inwards or outwards. I kind of like having the furnace sort of disguised, even though it's going to complain at me for placing a block in the wrong place. And we don't technically need these, because that's really just to connect it to the neighboring one, which we don't really have. Let me turn the music back up just a touch as well. Yeah, I might place the furnaces backwards. So I wonder if I can put my schematic in edit mode and then do this. What's that? Oh, that does rotate all the furnaces. Oh, brilliant. And I'd have to do it for the opposite side over there because it's just rotated all of those. Because it doesn't... Like, that side is mirrored, but it's not mirrored in this schematic placement, if that makes sense. So, yeah, we can just keep going here. And I can place it that way around. Cool, yeah. Okay, great. And the whole reason that this has an orange outline around it still is because the comparator isn't powered. So we're just going to ignore that because
that's just prime.
We can't really do anything about that until... Oh, let's break that real fast. Boop, there we go. Take this out of edit mode and put this away. Yeah, let's do this for the time being. Yeah, we can't have that show up properly until it's got items in the furnace, and I'm not going to be doing those yet. Because once again, that is a lot of wooden shovels I need to craft. Raid false? No, I'm raiding Azuma after this. I just said I was going to raid Azuma. Because he is streaming, probably working on the same project, and I might be hanging around for a little while longer on account of it being Tuesday night, so I don't have to head off and do stuff immediately. If anything, I'm probably going to stay in this room anyway because it's warm in here now from the electric heater. Once you get into a rhythm of placing these, though, it's kind of nice and easy to repeat. I just have to remember the pattern of movements, and it becomes muscle memory. And these are going to be the tricky ones. So I might start placing... Not there. Might start placing blocks underneath some of these, because we know that furnaces are going to go on each of those. And then I can place the block up against the back of that. That's probably going to be the best setup for it. Yeah, my heating is still out, Nurse and Geek. It's going to be fixed on Friday, though, hopefully. I think the biggest thing, aside from the heating, really, is the hot water. Just not being able to take a normal shower is a bit of an irritation. Been doing alright with, like, sponge baths, using water that we boiled in the kettle and on the stovetop, but it's not the best of situations. Still, we're doing what we can, and we're a lot more fortunate than most, because a lot of people are having issues with the cost of heating their homes around this time of year. Gonna miss Azuma's streams. Jimmy is starting in the next few minutes. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people streaming from this collab because we're obviously getting towards the holiday kind of time and everyone wants to get their stuff done on the Christmas builds and that kind of stuff. Let's leave that there. Do this. Live in Canada, my heat used to go out for a week every January. Yeah, and a lot of people are used to having power cuts and stuff like that as well. And that's the part that, luckily, our power infrastructure here, hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, all of that, is good enough that we don't deal with that very often. Our weather is not typically extreme enough to have issues with the power grid. But, yeah, there's definitely some rough spots for folks who lived in more remote areas, especially in Canada and a few other places. Obviously, I remember, like, Texas having that massive snowstorm a few years back that people are still recovering from the damage from. Because they're just not ready for that kind of stuff, you know? So rare when it happens, but when it does happen, it's devastating. So for this side, we'll just do dropper and 2 comparators, and then we'll come back around with the planks when we do the other side. In fact, when we do the other side of the room, I'll probably stick to what I'm doing now because of the time lapse and just figuring out camera angles, but it may be better to work from this side to that side, so we're always placing the furnaces first, I guess. I'm always trying to figure out, like, trying to optimize not necessarily the contraption itself, but for something as large as this, just the most effective way of building it. Lightmatica helps with that a great deal, instead of it having to be a series of things that I remember over and over again, but... In South Africa, we have load shedding. The power stations don't have enough power. They just cut off power for hours per day all around the country. Yeah, and that's always rough, especially if you don't know it's coming. Like, unscheduled stuff is obviously going to be much harder to deal with. But even then, like, it's a lot to deal with. Like I said, we're still quite fortunate to live in a country that has relatively reliable power infrastructure, and the problem with us is our individual boiler, not with, like, all the boilers in our area or something like that. That's why I'm not trying to bring it up too often, but people keep asking, so... Seems horrible for people who rely on power for life support, etc. I wonder how they deal with that. I assume that, like, hospitals and places where medical equipment is used will either have priority when it comes to power supply, or they'll have backup generators that they use, because, yeah, people's lives are at stake literally as soon as power goes out in those situations, but... Yeah, gigantic backup generators. Yeah, most life-saving equipment has a backup, so when it's unplugged, it will work for a set time until more power can be accessed. Yeah. It does make a lot of sense. If you rely on power being on for whatever reason, and it's likely, it's predictable that you will have blackouts, then it does make a lot of sense to have some kind of backup power supply. What am I building? This is a big redstone contraption that's an entire room full of counting mechanisms, basically, that stop blocks of copper as they get pulled down the room by redstone flying machines. Blocks of copper get spaced 4 blocks apart. A machine will count them aging, and then it returns all of them when they're done fully oxidizing. So then you can scrape the oxidization off with an X, the oxidation off with an X, and work with copper at basically any stage. So you can build with the type of copper that you want to be in your build, instead of having to wait for it to age. What server am I on today? Hermitcraft. I've already built one of these on Empires. How many stacks does it age at once? It's about 450 blocks, so not quite 10 stacks, but close to that. And the design is modular, so if you wanted it to age more, you could. It's really just about the amount of redstone components you have at your disposal and probably server performance after a certain point. Alright, we've got enough furnaces and stuff for now. We should just need more comparators, because each of these needs 2 comparators at a time. Alright. What rendering mod is this? This is Lightmatica by Massady. Very, very handy mod for importing blueprints of builds. Super handy for redstone, but obviously cool for builds you've designed in creative and want to rebuild in survival. Very glad you did with the collab with the Hermits. You're one of my new favorite creators. I don't think you'd have found me without the collab. Well, awesome. I'm glad. Why is the rhythm of placing redstone components so satisfying? It's because there's so many of them in this contraption. It gets very zen after a while. Trying to play it like a rhythm game where you place them along to the music. Oh, not that way. There we go. Is it orange because it isn't powered, but in the schematic it is? Correct, yes. Yeah, orange in schematics like this indicates the correct block is placed, but it's in the wrong block state, and the different stages of a comparator being powered and unpowered. In the case of the redstone here, I accidentally skipped a piece of redstone in the original schematic that I imported, so it thinks that this purple outlined one here is an extra block that I placed. It's replacing an air block in the schematic, basically. And so this one looks different because it's connected to that redstone on the side, and the different connections of redstone dust are different block states. So it thinks that is wrong when it's actually correct. I am going to turn the heater off now. Fortunately, it is warm enough in here that I feel like I'm comfortable. We've got another half hour on the stream. In which we should be able to get the rest of this room at least done with this layer of the contraption, right? Is it just acoustic guitar I play? I started playing electric guitar. I still have a couple of them around, but I don't have an amplifier anymore. So in order to play them, I'd have to either get an amplifier or use, like, amplifier modeling software on my PC or something, but I don't tend to play as much lately, so honestly my acoustic guitar skills are very rusty, as are the strings. Wait a second. Let's do something like this. That'll be better. So if the original was David, is this Davidson? No, this is David the Fifth. It's ironic because the first David was just a field full of copper, hence David. But the one you might consider David Jr. or David the Second was much larger, or at least more automated. Larger in scope as a technical achievement than placing a bunch of blocks in a row in a grid. At what point is it too many Davids? I think the idea I have for this, in which we create basically like a giant copper factory that's all vertically stacked versions of this, at that point that might be too many Davids. I am potentially going to try and run a couple of, like, stress tests to see, using Schematica, Lightmatica, which has, like, a creative mode tool that allows you to, like, paste the schematic into the world, basically. By doing that, I might be able to test how many of these we can actually stack on top of each other before they start to create serious technical issues. Because that's going to be an interesting experiment. I reckon we'll need about that much for now. Whoever said to call the horse Goliath for David and the Goliath, that's very funny. Accidentally blocked off that light. For the amount of stuff I've had to place in this, I've actually misplaced blocks relatively infrequently, which is good. What are the chances I'm going to dream about placing redstone tonight? I don't know if I've had, like, proper Minecraft dreams for a while. It's happened once or twice in my life, but not as frequently as you might expect, considering that this is my lived experience most days. Just checking that I had started recording with replay mod. I got paranoid there for a minute. Well, still remember the pixelated dreams I'd have when the original Doom first came out? Wow. I had dreams about playing the new Pokemon game after I'd spent a while playing the new Pokemon game. But I think it's more just about what I'm thinking about when I go to bed, and I'm usually done thinking about Minecraft by that point. After a certain point, you realize, you know, this is my day job, and I like to leave my job at the desk, you know? Don't need that one. Those blocks are transparent. Can you do that in Lightmatica? Well, the blocks themselves don't exist. It's showing me where to place the blocks. That's the purpose of Lightmatica. What am I doing? Placing a lot of redstone components for a machine that is designed to spread copper out across an entire room, so that you don't have to place it all 4 blocks apart manually. I think of this as a copper aging machine, but what it really is a copper spreading machine. That just doesn't sound as cool. The bit that I'm building right now is the bottom half of the circuit that counts how many times the copper blocks age. Oh, right, you're talking about the Lightmatica setting that changes the translucency. I think I have that bound to, yeah, M and T. So you can, like, adjust the transparency of them. I believe you can also adjust how transparent they are. I had to bind that to a separate keybind because M and T usually disables the Lightmatica tool, so you can use a stick as a stick. Which I think was the problem Joe Hills first had when he arrived on Empires, because he wasn't able to, like, use the stick to chop down a tree. See, I thought it was going to be a smart move to turn the heater off, but my feet are already getting cold again. It's fine for the time being, though. I think I need to place them flatter on the ground for better circulation. What does the yellow mean? The yellow means the right block, but in the wrong block state. So the comparator isn't powered. Notice how in the schematic there, the redstone torches are on. When I place it, it's not, because it's not receiving power, because the furnace it's reading doesn't have any contents. But we're going to fix that later by filling the furnace with 5 pieces of dirt or similar kind of items, maybe 5 sticks, to be honest, because the input slot is going to have a wooden shovel in it, which is not going to be smeltable. So you can do that with sticks to save on materials. Double socks and slippers. Yeah, I already got a pair of slippers on. We've actually ordered some better slippers, because mine are just like sandal kind of things, you know. They're still pretty warm. The key is to get your feet off the floor, especially in our house where we have like stone floor or lino or hardwood. Always ends up getting really cold. Now we are out of warped wood again, so I need to go grab some more of that. I've been busy. Yeah, I've had a fun time. We've done a lot of this on stream, but a lot of it has also been getting the materials for some of these components. There we go. Picked up where we left off. There's like one block that's safe to break on the edges there, without disturbing any of the redstone. Then again, with Lightmatica's checker, if something changes, then I'll know about it. Again, I feel like I'm kind of hunched over a little bit to keep the cold out. I need to like sit better in my chair, have better posture. Especially with this chair. Like, this chair is really designed for improving your posture, and I just keep going into like shrimp mode in it. My next Empire persona can be a shrimp. Yeah, time to be the Ocean Empire of Season 3. Shrimp Boy. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it as the Codfather, does it? There we go. I'm going to put that there anyway. Mr. Shrimp. Shrimple riffs. I'm just a shrimple man. Empire Season 3, but it's basically SpongeBob. Yeah, I reckon we'll get the rest of that side of the room done, and then we'll call the stream there. We need to see Floor Horse at least one more time. Oh, I also didn't ever finish this section here with the redstone torch and the repeater, so I brought some of those with me, so we can correct these egregious errors. For a second, I thought this was some kind of, like, piano cover of Ave Maria. Which I'm like, fine, but... interesting tone to set for this. Otherwise fairly light-hearted stream. I think I might skip this one. There we go. Now you're talking. Give us some tasty beats. Beats to place redstone components to. Don't want that in subtract mode. No, thank you. Is that Skiz? That is Skiz. Thought I recognized that man. Is this design different from David 4.0? Only slightly. The materials are different. There is one fewer furnace in each of these because this comparator can actually read that furnace through a solid block, which is a really smart way to save on components, as Azuma was pointing out earlier. And I've made a couple of refinements to the simplicity of the redstone at either end. So down this way, this section here is more streamlined. In Empires, it's built into the floor, whereas this is kind of resting on the floor and built up from there. And the other significant change is, well, the size more than anything. Yeah, I don't think there's too much different in terms of the mechanism, though. The furnaces are going to have slightly different items in. And the launch mechanism for the flying machine doesn't have that weird extra bit of redstone that I had to add in because it launched the machine too fast. That was something I had to correct. This is the other thing, is I now have to place a furnace there. Because these do need to read something. So we might actually need more furnaces than I've crafted. Because we've got 18 furnaces on this side of the room that I hadn't accounted for in the schematic. But we'll finish these up and then we'll go and place those afterwards. And of course we're placing those facing backwards, so we'll do them this way. See, the schematic cuts off there, but a couple of things are needed. Could you design this thing for Bedrock? I wouldn't know how, because I'm not really a Bedrock engineer in general. That's all blocks at the back. Yeah, okay, cool. But flying machines work differently on Bedrock Edition, so I'd have to learn a lot about the way that works first. Did the furnaces just get cut off? No, they didn't exist in the first place, because the way I designed this schematic, I designed it tileable so that it would just connect and connect and connect, but then I didn't add in the furnaces on this side. Would have had to add those in manually. We'll have to do the same here as well. I think I said this time I was going to work from that end to this end. And that would be a better workflow for placing the components. So let's give that a try now that we've done that. Do we need to stock up on anything? We've got loads of droppers. We need more furnaces. But this will be all the furnaces we should need for the rest of the rooms, so... let's give it a go. Could be done on Bedrock, but it would require a fair bit more resources. Sounds like basically everything on Bedrock then. We'll have all of those together. We'll leave that down there. And we need droppers. Cool. Oh yeah, and I was going to edit that so that all of the furnaces were facing backwards, which is going to change all of the furnaces on that side of the room, but ignore that. Just for our own sanity here. There we go. See, now all of those are orange, but it's fine, because they're already placed in the right place. Let's take this off edit mode and get back to placing. Okay. Get into a rhythm. That's the trick. And then place that in entirely the wrong position. I think I'm still somehow not really placing these in an order that's going to help me. But that's fine. Ignoring the wood blocks on the outside of here, by the way, they're not necessary. Yeah. Just constantly doing 360s here. I'm surprised I'm not getting dizzy. This is the bit where I have the potential to fall down this hole with a beacon in it and die when I hit the ground.
Well,
not today.
That's just prime.
We're about to see our old friend, the floor horse. But first, let me catch up on alerts because I've been concentrating on this for a little bit. Ginger, thank you for gifting us up to Ella Jenkins. Fluttering Unicorn, thank you for the 2 years. Tilo with the 3 months, and Freaky Fox with the 2-month resub. Thank you so much. On the subject of foxes, by the way, the foxes have not really seemed to be bothered that much by the cold weather. They've been sleeping in my garden still. We've been hearing them a lot less, but that's mainly because we have the windows closed. Wild foxes, yeah, garden foxes. They are not pets. And some people do keep foxes as pets, but it doesn't happen really at all in this country. And I cannot imagine keeping a fox as a pet. Do they bring you berries? No, they screech awfully at night, constantly. Oh, well. Love it when that happens. According to Fox YouTube channels, they're not good pets? No. They seem like the kind of thing that would just tear up all of your furniture and not be very easy to, like, train. If you've got, like, an outdoor place to kind of keep them or whatever, then sure, but... The other day, it was probably like a month or two ago, though, I was at the supermarket and waiting in line for somebody to, like, at the checkout. There's our floor horse. David or Goliath, depending on who you ask. But yeah, there was somebody who was like getting some help with their shopping, like a staff member was like assisting them getting some stuff off the shelves and whatnot. And I was queued up next to all of the pet food. And they were trying to like squeeze past a couple of other people who were queuing with me in order to get some dog food. And she was like, oh, just grab whatever, it doesn't matter, it's only for the foxes. I'm like, you're feeding the foxes... Like, the wild foxes, presumably, because people don't really keep foxes as pets. You're feeding them dog food? I mean, if it helps them, like, not go through the bins or whatever, then great, but, like, you are... These are wild animals that you're, like, introducing to the luxuries of domestic life. I don't think that's going to go well for either you or the foxes. But they're cute. They are cute, but they can be cute from a distance. They can be cute when they get their own food. Like, I've taken lots of pictures of the foxes that live around our backyard, and they're adorable when they're not screeching and hollering. Mostly when they're sleeping, to be honest. Yes, they're cute. They can be cute in someone else's garden. That's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah, we don't need those. Okay, great. I have no idea what this time lapse is going to look like. Just going to be me constantly twirling around, placing blocks. Like a whirling dervish of a man. David the ballet, yeah. More droppers. Good. How many items need to be placed in the furnaces? It's either a stack and 5, because a furnace has like 3 slots, right? So it's either a stack in one slot and 5 in another, or it's the equivalent amount of items spread throughout the 3 slots. But it's harder to do that way because, like, you can't put items manually into a furnace's output slot. They have to smelt stuff. So the way I've been doing it is 1 wooden shovel in the input slot and 5 sticks in the fuel slot. And that gives you something that can't be smelted, is going to stay in there permanently. And the shovels are fairly cheap to craft. Azuma has a ton of sticks, so I think the automatic tree farms, or witch farms, or raid farms, or whatever they happen to be, end up generating a lot of sticks. Witches drop sticks? They do, yeah. Witches have like 6 drops. It's like sticks, glass bottles, redstone, glowstone, gunpowder, and spider ice. Makes them one of the more useful mobs in the game, which is why witch farms used to be so valuable to players. But these days, I think you get a much better output from a raid farm. Even though witches are just like 1 or 2 mobs in some of those raids, the stacking raid farms are just absurdly powerful. Oh, and sugar as well, so it's like 7. They basically drop all of the powder items. And yeah, if you kill them at the right time, then they drop whatever potion they're trying to consume or try to throw at you or whatever. Although I expect you have to kill them in a split second to get like a harming potion or a weakness potion. Otherwise, they'll be throwing it at you already. Yeah, you typically get a lot of health potions, I think, because they take full damage before you kill them, right? So you're immediately damaging them, and then you kill them whilst they're trying to heal up. Plays, thank you for the 100 bits. Are the corgos meant to be foxes? Only wildlife I feed is the rabbits in my backyard because they used to live in the field across the street until they built a car dealership there and they don't really have a place to live. That's fair. Hopefully the rabbits will oblige by keeping the grass well trimmed. Time for some more cold tea. Yeah, only a few more rows of these to 12 through, and then we should be good. It's making me slightly nervous that we were getting low on comparators, and then I realized that this is the only thing that we really need the comparators for. So if we run out at the end of this, then that's good, because it means we made the right amount of comparators. Oh yeah, we got that one already. Was it once a thing that glass bottles broke once you drank a potion? I don't believe so, but I wasn't around for the very beginning of Minecraft implementing stuff like potions. Because I think potions came along as soon as, like, blazes and stuff were implemented, right? Which is around the time Nether Fortresses were introduced. That's before my time as far as overall Minecraft gameplay goes. Even on Xbox. Like, I came in for the update that had just introduced, like, emeralds and villager trading and stuff. How long do I normally stream for? Like, 3 hours. So I'm a little over time right here, but this is the night that my partner also streams their projects, so I don't have too much to worry about in terms of timing here. It looks like I have a ton of droppers left, but also there's a second dropper that needs to go on top of most of these. Wrong way. RC, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. What's my partner's Twitch? Twitch.tv/celerymin. Adult language warning, because adult topics do get discussed over there quite frequently, and they stream something completely different to what I do, which is a project where they're writing out the entirety of Lord of the Rings using fountain pens and cool stationery and notebooks with really nice paper and that kind of stuff. They do calligraphy sometimes, especially when it comes to the like chapter titles and the poetry and the inscription of the ring, like the elven letters that are all over the ring. That's done in like a really special ink that's got like some shimmer to it, which is like such a neat thing. We've gotten really into, not that we weren't before because we're both massive nerds, but we've sort of redoubled our interest in Lord of the Rings lately. We reread the entirety of it out loud to each other a little while ago, and obviously Rings of Power was that new Amazon series that came out, so we really enjoyed that, and now we're just indulging other aspects of the weird, nerdy Tolkien fandom. Sickit, thank you so much for the 11 months, almost a year, I know, right? How time flies. That's a furnace. There we go. Ah. Got stuck under that for a second. Shelby Girl with a raid as well. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Have I read the Silmarillion? I've read most of it. I've read the part that is actually the Silmarillion. I got to the Akalabeth, and from there I've not read a huge amount more. I find the Silmarillion quite heavy going, but I think on a second read through, once I know like what I'm in for and I'm looking for specific moments of the history, I think I'd probably find it more interesting. This is our last 2 stacks of comparators. So if we need to make more comparators after this, then I've messed up the material list somehow. Which is a scary thought, but if not, then that means we are on the last 64 of these that I would need to place. Nathan B, thank you so much for the 12 months. Everyone spam the word nerd in the chat, please. Thank you so much for the full year supporting the channel. Enjoy that nerd sub badge. Welcome to the Nerd Herd. How's the stream going? It's going very well. I'm a little cold, but aside from that, not too bad. We've been doing a lot of stuff on Hermitcraft today. We've got a lot of the components and circuitry for David 5.0 in place. I'm going to move on to adding all of the pistons and stuff after this, the slime blocks and honey blocks. So we're making some good progress here under Azuma's base. We have a few extra components hanging around just in case we don't have enough comparators and stuff. Like I've still got some quartz, plenty of redstone dust, that kind of thing. So we should not be in too deep trouble if this doesn't add up. But I think it's all looking okay so far. Oh, here's trouble. Folks, quick reminder that we are going to be wrapping up the stream right after this and raiding Azuma. Please do stick around for the raid. Always happy to send people over to other folks on Twitch, and you might get other glimpses of this project whilst I think X is working on like the decorative aspects of this. It's morning somewhere. It's always morning when you're Grian. Yeah, he's working on the entrance? Yeah, makes sense. Need to stop placing blocks where they don't belong. We're only going to confuse Azuma if we do that. Do I play D&D? I started in 2020, and I DM'd a home game for myself, my partner, and a bunch of our friends. We haven't really been keeping up with that, but I do a fortnightly, nothing to do with Fortnite, every 2 weeks. I have a campaign that I play with some friends here on Twitch in the 8-bit community streaming crew, who are a lovely bunch of people. Okay, that's that set of modules done. I think we only have one more set of furnaces to place, and we only have 12 furnaces left, so that's looking good. We only need 9. Oh, this is it. This is the last one. The final row. And And we've definitely got enough comparators, which makes me feel a lot happier. Doing the twirls. Clarita Verde, thanks so much for the 100 bits. Like, all in all, this section of the time-lapse is probably only going to be about... What would that be, like, an hour and a half? About 90 minutes, maybe? To go and grab some more warped wood. Of course, at the final hurdle, the thing that we're missing is warped wood. Got plenty of it in here, though. Hello? Can I craft this, please? I'm also using more warped wood than I expected to, because I'm placing a block underneath each of those, which isn't in the schematic, but it's just easier to place the furnaces if they have a solid block underneath them, instead of lining it up on the relatively slim hitbox of a comparator. And that is that. Folks, that is where we're going to be wrapping up today's stream. I'm going to continue working on this. But for now, for this stream, we are ending here. And I'm going to send you folks over to Azuma so that we can continue the work around here, but with a slightly different focus. When he pops into this room, every so often I will still be working on bits and pieces of the contraption. But I'm going to send you over to Azuma with a raid. If you want to check out anybody else who's streaming Minecraft, of course, send them my best. And once again, if you're interested in something completely different, my partner is in the other room streaming with their usual fountain pens and stationery and cool stuff. But we can go and say hi to Azuma here on Twitch. We're going to raid him. He's already been live for about half an hour, working on the rib cage, the skeleton, the entrance to all of this stuff. So you can use your pixel hype emotes and the hashtag pixelraid to show some love. I might pop up if he feels like hopping into voice chat, but if not, no worries. I'm just going to be building with components and stuff down here anyway. And I'll see you again on Thursday for another stream, but I'm not sure what time because we have a slightly different schedule on Thursday. So I'll keep you guys in the loop, but if I'm not live at my usual time, stick around. We'll maybe do a late evening stream, something like that. We will see. But in the meantime, have yourselves a great week. Stay warm out there. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.